The NBA All-Star Weekend is here in New York, and there are plenty of Knick-related stories to cover today.
The injured Carmelo Anthony says he will play in the All-Star game, but he'll most likely miss the rest of the season. And what planet is owner James Dolan on as he responds to a fan's email and basically tells him that after 62 years he should go root for the Nets?
Baseball players were reporting to spring training this week, so we'll take a look at the 4 players that will be inducted into the Hall of Fame in August. One of them played for the Mets. Another one was born on Long Island.
Kings Park.
Yes.
And in our Did You Hear About segment, we've got stories about the first penis reduction surgery, soccer riots in Egypt, and why the Little League stripped last year's USA champions of their titles. These stories and more on Glory Days starting right now. Hello again, everybody. Today is Saturday, February 14th, 2015. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Hey, baby.
And you are watching the Glory Days show with Brucey and Disco.
Cousin Bruce.
My name is Paul Descafani. This is my good friend, Bruce Oler. Ken Nilsson and Buddy Schultz are behind the glass today. And you are joining us on the Inravio TV network, where we broadcast to the world from the Inravio studios right here in the Village Music Shoppy in beautiful Mastic, Long Island, in the great state of New York. Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing okay. Do you do anything special for Valentine's Day?
I haven't in a while, man, and I'll tell you, I'm not comfortable about even saying that over the air, you know. I should be doing something, I'll tell you that, you know.
Well, early on in the relationship,
yeah,
my wife told me that she hates Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Because she thinks that every day should be Valentine's Day.
Well, she's probably right about that.
You know, so you know what? That gets me off the hook for 30 years. I never had to buy Valentine's Day present because she always thought it was hokey.
Uh-huh. Good,
I don't have to get a card.
Lucky you.
I don't have to do anything. So tonight
maybe you don't get lucky. Yeah. Maybe not lucky you. I don't know. You know.
Well, you see, that's at least the second day of the year. You know, you got your birthday and Valentine's Day. Yeah. It's the 2 days you can count on.
Well,
anyway.
All right.
So what's going on with you?
Well, you know, we advertised this show as being a sports show with a twist, okay?
It is
so I'm going to take us really on a twist in a second here, okay?
Okay.
But I'll start out with the sports reference, okay?
Okay.
You know, my mom is, lately she's been calling me after the Islanders win a game.
She has. So
Tuesday night she calls me after the Islanders win, and then she proceeds to tell me a little story that I'm going to share with you, okay?
Okay.
So she, she's been sick a couple of times during the year. She was hospitalized. She had some diverticulitis problems, and then later on she got shingles. So she had 2 different hospital stays, and kind of in there, she got this thing called C. diff.
C. diff.
Okay.
I've seen that.
Well, you know, you're working in a hospital. I mean, it's one of the things that it's usually a hospital-acquired infection. Okay, so the hospitals are really, the infection control guys are really on top of this thing. Well, they want to be, you know, because part of paid performance, you know, when you have people that get C. diff, you know, you don't get paid what you should get paid for the hospital stay.
Right.
And you know, C. diff, I didn't know much about it. Basically, they say mostly it's older people that get it. It affects your bowels. You get diarrhea. Okay, in a worst case scenario, you have like an inflamed colon, I think is what they said, or something like that. So it might require a medical procedure. Okay, and it happens. The reason why it happens in a hospital is because they're giving you so many antibiotics, and it's an imbalance in your colon. Okay, because you have all this bacteria that's there. Okay. But when it gets out of whack, then that's when you have some of these other things that happen to you, diarrhea and stuff like that. Okay, so she got that. You know, they treat it usually with a combination of an antibiotic, vancomycin, and And then they tell you to take probiotics, which is supposed to be good for your digestive tract anyway, okay? And it usually goes away, okay? So she got it, got rid of it, and then around her birthday, she got it again. And this time she wasn't in a hospital, you know? So you start saying, well, what the heck is going on here, you know, stuff like that. So again, they started treating with the vancomycin and the probiotic again, and it wasn't going away. So she's telling me that basically her doctor told her basically if this next test comes back and you're positive again, you're gonna have to send you to an infectious disease professional.
Really?
And most likely they're gonna suggest a procedure.
Okay.
What procedure would that be?
I don't know.
It's called a fecal transplant. Fecal transplant. They're going to put somebody's feces into you. Can you believe that?
Why would they do that?
Because it's kind of it's more of a modern or more recent procedure. Okay.
The things you learn on this show.
But it balances out. It balances out the bacteria again. Okay.
Well, really, I'd like to know how the procedure actually gets done.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, okay? Because I was getting to that next.
Is it like a turkey baster thing?
Well, I asked my mother, I said, well, how do they do that? She goes, well...
Didn't they do a movie on this? A movie called Centipede? Right? There's a movie, this really bad. I didn't watch it. It's a movie called Centipede where this maniac is suturing people together.
Yeah.
Mouth to butt.
Really?
Okay, yeah, did you have, this is a real movie. It's called Centipede, and that's how you
create the
you
centipede.
live together.
Okay.
And you eat, that's how you eat.
Wow.
And now, I just don't know what happens to the front guy. They must feed the front guy, and he goes, and it goes all the way back.
Wow.
Is Centipede part of this?
No,
or?
It's not. No, it's not. What my
I don't
mother
wanna make light of it, I'm
what my
sorry.
mother told me is basically they go in through your nose. They put a tube up your nose, because I guess, and I was thinking, I was talking to Chris about this, and she said, well, I guess that would kind of make sense, because, it's got to go through your body, you know what I mean? They can't start it at the end. You really got to start it at the beginning or something close to the beginning. But in doing my research in advance of this,
I would have researched it.
I have to. I can give you the CPT codes for this too, as a matter of fact. Okay, the procedure itself is 44799, which interestingly enough is called unlisted procedure in testing.
Even they couldn't figure
exactly
out a
right.
code for
But
it.
there's a 44705, which is the preparation of the microbiota that'll be instilled in the donor specimen.
Now let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Okay. You know how when people need blood?
Yeah, well, I'm going to get to that too, okay?
All right.
All right.
Inquiring minds want to know.
But like I say, part of the research, though, he said they also might do a colonoscopy on you, I guess, to get it way up there where it's got to go, okay? So they may go through your nose, they might go, looks like that's a physician preference, I guess, okay, so to speak, okay? Now, so then, like you say, the donor, well, who's a good donor? They say, well, it's usually a family member, a relative, which kind of blew my mind, too. In reading between the line, though, it sounds like it's not all insurance...
Are you guys going to draw straws?
Not all insurance companies pay for this, though, okay? So
why would they?
So the donor has got to pay, so maybe that's why it's up being a family member, because who else is going to get it? Oh, yeah, sure, test my stuff, Oh, God.
I hope you're enjoying your breakfast this morning.
When I was telling Chris this, we were laughing about it. I told my daughter the next morning, Dad, that's gross. She didn't want to know anything about it.
Well, your daughter's definitely not on the donor list.
That's right. But I am. Man, I hope I have some good stuff. That's all I can say, man.
Do you have to collect it yourself?
Well,
or is it clinical? Like they give you a magazine?
Oh, I'm sure they do. Yeah, give you a magazine. No, they give you a newspaper. They give you a magazine. Magazine is for some other kind of donation you're going to make. Okay.
Depends on the magazine.
Yeah, I guess so.
They give you good housekeeping with recipes in it.
All right.
Goodness. And your poor mother's going to have to go through this.
Well,
Hopefully
no. She called me to tell me that the last test came back negative. Okay.
Thank
So she was
goodness.
just telling me, so this was just more
Although
of
this would have
an
made for a
FYI.
much more interesting next show.
This was an FYI, okay? But I said, we need to do some public service stuff, I think, on the show.
Now that we have the procedure code,
Yep.
I'm going to go do a report and see if there's been any 44705s.
And 44799.
It's public record, so
Yeah.
you could easily find out how much of that has been done.
Unbelievable. Where do we go from here? I mean, that's the question, man.
Well, speaking of crap, the 2015 NBA All-Star Weekend began at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. They had a futures game and a celebrity game. And tonight they have the All-Star Saturday night.
Right.
Which is a
like a
skills
skills
challenge,
competition,
right?
like the
They have the
NHL
three-point contest, the slam dunk, things like that. And then everything culminates tomorrow at Madison Square Garden, where they have the actual All-Star game itself. But there's a bunch of stories surrounding this meaningless exhibition game that, I don't know, I thought they were kind of interesting.
They are.
I mean, let's talk a little bit about Carmelo Anthony.
Okay, yeah. So I guess that's the big controversy is why is Carmelo Anthony playing? I guess he's been playing with a bum knee, I think, the whole season.
Right.
I guess the other night he was playing, you could see that he was in pain or whatever. Okay.
Right.
I guess he's faced with having some kind of operation.
Right.
And I guess Thursday he said, you know what, the last game I'm going to play is going to be the All-Star game, and then I'm going to shut it down for the rest of the season.
Right.
Sounds like he since has maybe kind of waffled on it a little bit, saying, well, we'll see. I'll be resting it for a week or whatever.
Right.
So
But he still said that's it, that he thinks he's going to just shut it down after the All-Star game.
So is that a big deal?
I don't know.
This team, do they have any chance of making the playoffs?
No.
Not with 10 wins, they don't.
No, they don't. But why would you play in that game?
Because a few reasons.
Well, actually, we have a quote
Okay.
from what he said.
All right.
He had said that. Wait a second, I got it here somewhere.
Well, I mean, you just think about it. I mean, the Knicks are hosting this. The Knicks and the Nets are hosting it. I think he's the only player on either team that's been voted to the so
Yeah.
he's got to show up for that.
Right. Well, he said even if I come out and play a couple of minutes and just wave, I
Yeah.
don't think the fans deserve seeing me miss a game. They voted me in for a reason, so at least I could show them that I appreciate that by just participating in the game. So I guess it's not really.
Yeah, I mean,
Gonna hurt
you
him.
can't fault the guy for that.
But like you said, the Knicks are what? They won 10 out of 53 games,
Yeah,
I think.
they're going to be lucky if they win 15. I think
and-
20's out of the question.
And he just doesn't see a reason to come back.
He's not going to get. That game. It's like the NHL All-Star game. Nobody's checking. Nobody's playing good defense.
Right.
So unless he just does something stupid, he's not going to get hurt anymore either.
Right.
So let him have this game. I don't see it being a big deal. I really don't.
It's the only thing that I didn't like about it was I thought that most players don't play in the All-Star game because they're injured.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to take a chance on being further injured. But I guess, I don't know. I mean, he's always been known as a me-first player and stuff like that. And it just seemed to me that playing in this All-Star game was kind of, grandstanding.
One of those me
and,
first. Yeah. Well, I guess
you
I can understand that side of things too.
The other thing I wanted to talk about was, the James Dolan thing.
Yes.
James Dolan is the owner of the Knicks, has been owner of the Knicks, the Rangers, Madison Square Garden in general, Cablevision, Radio City Music Hall. Cablevision owns everything, but he's in charge of those things.
Really is what he is, man. He's the man behind the curtain.
So, I just don't know what's going on there.
So, of course, you're talking about the story where this fan sends him this
disgruntled fan.
Yeah.
Okay. Longtime Knicks fan. He sends him an email.
Yeah.
Right. Explaining that he's been a Knicks fan since 1952, and he felt that everything has gone downhill since Dolan took over.
When did Dolan take over?
I don't know, about 10 years ago, I guess, maybe 12 years ago.
Really? Okay.
Maybe longer than that.
Yeah, I think so. So.
It's been so long, I kind of forgot. But anyway, in part, this is a couple of things that were in this guy's email.
Yeah.
Okay, he says, as a Knicks fan for in excess of 60 years, I am utterly embarrassed by your dealing with the Knicks. Sell them so that their fans can at least look forward to growing them in a positive direction.
Okay.
Okay. Then he referenced a couple of things like, Isaiah Thomas.
Gives a few examples
Right.
of how he's embarrassed.
How they
the
lost
franchise.
out on Steve Kerr, who, by the way, that guy's team has
Yeah, I
the
know.
best record.
I know.
Right?
Yep.
He says you've done a lot of utterly stupid business things with this franchise. Please no more. Right? So he signs it respectively, Irving
Respectfully.
Bierman.
That's the way I always end my emails too.
Respectfully, Irving
do.
Bierman.
No, just the respectfully part.
So you would,
Unless I'm sending something to James Dolan.
well, you would think that Dolan. How many hundreds of these emails must he get a day?
Well, today's paper, okay, he talked a little about that. He said, I get a lot of mail, I get a lot of mail regardless, And he did talk about the fact that I guess he was just having a bad day. That's why he really responded to this one, And he did say, if I get a nice one, I'll usually respond. If I get a crappy one, I usually just, throw it in the trash bucket,
So I want to. It's not a very long email. I want to. I think we have it for the screen. You got the Dolan thing there? Okay. I want to put the email up on the screen. Then this is the way it was written. This is the president of the Knicks. Okay.
And I think there was some grammatical errors in
Oh
this
my
thing,
God! There's spelling errors.
Yeah.
He
Not
said,
capitalizing things.
Mr. Bierman, you are a sad person. Why would anyone write such a hateful letter? I am just guessing, but he forgot the thing.
There you go.
I'll bet your life is a mess and you are a hateful mess. What have you done that anyone would consider positive or nice? He didn't put a question mark at the end of it. I am betting nothing. In fact, I'll bet that you are a negative force in everyone who comes in contact with you. Right?
Yeah.
Then he goes on.
Yeah.
He says, you most likely have made your family miserable.
Yeah.
Alcoholic, maybe. I just celebrated my 21st anniversary of sobriety. You should try it. Maybe it would help you become a person that folks would like to have around. In the meanwhile, 2 words, start rooting for the Nets because the Knicks don't want you.
Yeah, he looks like he's got a little...
You got a little period in there.
Period there, yeah.
And of course, as Bruce Ola signs all his emails, he said, respectfully.
There we go, right back. Here we go.
Yeah.
What a trendsetter I am,
Is he out of his mind? Why would you...
Well, I'll tell you what, the one thing that I can't say I knew about him until now was that this guy used to be a boozer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's in recovery,
So
I think maybe he fell off the wagon on that.
Well, I got to tell you, I think the most amazing thing of this all is that he actually reads his emails.
Yeah, well...
You would think that a guy
true.
that high up in the organization
Yeah.
wouldn't really be reading. You have a secretary to read the email and say, hey, Mr. Dolan, this is important, or this.
Right.
This guy's actually... So you know what? Why wouldn't every Knicks
Well,
fan...
I hate to open up another can of worms here, but if that's the case, then that kind of plays against Roger Goodell saying, I did not know about that date, My secretary read it, right? That's what it was. Some female got the email or something, or the phone call.
I just can't imagine that James Dolan, unless James Dolan is sitting in the back of his limo driving home and saying, what, I'm going to check some emails. And he's reading it, and he's had a very bad day.
Do we even know? Do we know what his email address is?
Yeah, it's like James Dolan at MSG.com. It was in the paper. I don't remember what it was.
I'm going to send him an email.
Maybe we should send him an email, see if he'll come on the show.
Yeah. Tell him, yeah.
We could talk
we'll
about...
do it at the Cablevision studios. We'll do it
We could talk about 44705.
As interesting as that all is, the other thing, though, is that our friends, Greg Kohler and the 2 brothers, they have picked up on this now, and they are starting a campaign to get a billboard in New York City, probably right opposite the Garden, that says something like, sell the Knicks, James Dolan.
But you know what? Here's the difference.
He's not going to do that, by the way.
If the difference is Woody Johnson,
Yeah.
the owner of the Jets, is catering to his fan base. And if his fan base is telling him that the people that he hired are they just sick of them, he listens to the fan base. They didn't say Woody Johnson sell the team, because if you're the owner of the team, you say, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not selling the
Well,
team.
exactly. It's a different scenario. I don't think they're going to get the same result. And I was
'Cause what are you
also
gonna say,
surprised
fire
that it's
John
still
Dolan?
20 grand or whatever, You figure, I mean, I don't know, I took a little bit of marketing in college or whatever, and it seemed, it's all about location when you get to talk about business.
Right.
And I can't see that a sign that you get on Route 3 is going to cost the same amount of money as something that's going to be in Midtown Manhattan. I don't know,
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, they're not getting it for the same price.
That's right. I don't think so.
All righty, you know what? Why don't we take a break?
Okay.
We are just getting started here, although after 44705 we might be finished. With spring training just a few days away, let's take a break and we'll talk about baseball. when we
Okay,
get back.
yeah. We'll talk about, I guess, the people that are going to the Hall of Fame.
It's the first time since the 1950s that 4 players have been inducted in the same year.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that when we come back.
And later on, we'll have another medical story, the world's first ever penis reduction surgery.
And that does have a tie into sports, too, as usual.
And the U.S. team that cheated their way to the Little League World Series. And no, they're not from Massachusetts. And we'll revisit a story we broke here back in July about a Cleveland Browns fan urinating on the grave of former owner Art Modell. Gee, see what happens? We have no call-in guest and we go in the gutter. Be right back.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Mark Well. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you're punching the. But if you have this bracelet from InRavio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com. InRavio.com wants you. InRavio provides the best in TV, film, post-production, and so much more. And we're growing. Right now, we're looking for a team of pros that can join us. So what are you waiting for? We need show hosts, production crew, marketing gurus, sales experts, audio engineers, lighting, visual effects, and camera crews. We want you. Go to InRavio.com/join the team.
Transmission of lice occurs from being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Like catching a cold or a flu.
You have guaranteed peace of mind in every bottle of Got Lice because all of our products are completely natural.
And organic.
But strong enough to cover all your lice removal needs while being safe and effective. Our professional technicians are specially trained with our exclusive proven technique to successfully comb out head lice. We come right to your home at your convenience.
Whenever you want us.
We bring everything needed to perform a successful and complete comb out while eliminating your head lice. And we leave you with our exclusive complimentary products to use for the next 10 days days following our treatment.
For free.
Our technicians also check all family members who have been exposed to lice. Please visit us on our website today at gotlice.co or feel free to call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 646-257-0121.
Welcome back to the Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco here on the Enravio TV network. 3 pitchers that dominated an era of offense were elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame, along with a player that missed by just 2 votes last year. Pitchers Pedro Martinez, Randy Johnson, and John Smoltz combined for 9 Cy Young awards and easily gained entrance into the hallowed Hall of Fame on their first try. And Long Island native Craig Biggio made it in on his 3rd try.
Right.
Unfortunately, former Met Mike Piazza was again denied entry, but he was the highest vote getter not to get the call, missing the required 75% with a hefty 69.9.
He just missed it.
Yeah.
You know, there were a couple of guys who submitted a blank ballot that wound up costing him his percentage. You know, if you're going to submit a blank ballot, just don't submit it, and then it doesn't.
Blank ballot, I mean, they voted for nobody.
For nobody.
Really? Okay.
Right. So it counts as voting for nobody.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? The entire...
We should do that with the presidency, I think. I don't want to vote for anybody, man.
Vote for none of the above or something? Wasn't that a movie? 500... there were 549 ballots submitted this year.
And these are sports writers is what they are.
Sports writers. It's the Sports Writers, Baseball Writers of America. You have to be in the thing.
In the club. You got to be in the club, okay.
Okay. So let's take a look at the inductees.
All right.
Okay, Randy Johnson.
Start out with the big unit.
All right, he was the top vote getter. He was named on 534 of the 549 ballots.
Okay.
97.3%.
That's a high percentage.
It's the 8th highest.
Okay.
And Johnson, he's 6'10".
I know.
Right?
The big unit, man.
By the way, do you know why they called him the big unit?
Is it related to the story we're going to say later on?
It's related to his Johnson. He was not only a physically dominating pitcher, but he won 5 Cy Young Awards, and he won 303 games.
Yep.
But more incredible, he struck out almost 5,000 batters, 48-75.
The thing I remember about him, though, I don't know what his record against the Mets were, but I know the Mets got him a couple
Mets
times.
used to get to him all the time. And I remember I told the story when Jimmy Baseball was here.
Yeah.
I was in the old Shea Stadium. They had that picnic area. And we sit in the picnic area, and it was right next to the visitors' bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
And Randy Johnson was with Arizona at the time. And he was warming up in the bullpen. And all you kept hearing was bang, bang. And you look over, and he was warming up, and the catcher was catching the ball. And when he was finally done, I yelled down to him. I says, "Does that hurt?" He says, "Yeah." And he took his glove out, and he had this extra padded thing, and it was ba-boom. It was like, you know, a cartoon. Ba-boom, ba-boom. All righty, this is what Randy Johnson had to say.
Okay.
The Hall of Fame was never something that I surely ever thought about. I don't think people quite understand how difficult it is to be 6'10" and throw a ball 60 feet 6 inches away. He was talking about the idea that your release point is just way too close. He says, and if you're 6'1" or 6'2", it's easy to keep your release point in the same spot all the time. He says, but when you're 6'10", there's a lot more body, I guess, to keep in control.
It's all about having a consistent delivery.
Right,
I think
exactly. That's why Tom Seaver, another first ballot Hall of Famer, he
was one of the guys that
he's got the highest percentage ever.
I didn't know it was the highest. I knew it wasn't number 8.
He missed being unanimous by 1 vote.
Okay.
Tom Seaver.
I wonder who that guy was.
No. No one's ever been elected unanimous.
No, I'm just saying. I wonder who didn't vote for him though.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
It's one of those old timers. Nobody deserves to be in 100%. Yeah.
Wrong sport. Okay.
Yeah. So what's the other guy?
Oh,
Let's do the next guy.
So Pedro Martinez,
Right.
played for the Mets.
Right.
He was another first ballot Hall of Famer. He received 500 votes, 91.1. That's a pretty good percentage, too. A former Met, he was a 3-time Cy Young Award winner. 219 wins, 100 losses, struck out 3,154, led the majors in ERA 5 times, helped the 2004 Boston Red Sox win their first World Series in 84 years. Second player from the Dominican Republic to be elected into the Hall of Fame, Juan Marichal being the first in 1983.
Right.
All right. So let's see what Pedro had to say about this. Should I talk in a Spanish accent?
If you can.
So many people in the Dominican Republic. Oh, I'll stop. And so many people all over the world got to know me as a player, but not as a person.
Baseball been very good to me.
Yeah, it's okay. Chico Escuela, right? Okay.
Chico Escuela.
What I mean to the Dominican Republic, it was an honor to have just the opportunity to go on the first ballot.
And he was a character.
Yeah.
Pedro, but he was one of the most dominant guys of his era.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, he won 100 more games than he lost. That's a pretty big accomplishment.
It is. It is. But I don't know, to me, 219 is not that, you always hear about 300 wins when you think about a starting pitcher.
Right.
You really do, So that bar is 300. 219 is not even close to 300, man.
Well, one of the things I wanted to talk about was the magic numbers. They don't seem to matter anymore. Like 300 wins, you would think 300 wins automatically is.
Well, I
and
what about with the home runs with the steroid era and things like that? 500 isn't the number that it used to be.
I mean, Gary Sheffield has 500 home runs.
Yeah.
And he only got 11% of the vote. Sammy Sosa, 609. Mark McGuire, 583. Those guys are never getting in.
That's right. They're not.
All right. Pitcher John Smoltz.
Yeah.
Remember John Smoltz?
I do. Part of that great pitching staff that Atlanta had for forever.
Right. Well, two of his teammates, Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine, got in last year. He got in 82.9% of the votes. He was a Cy Young Award winner. Now, he had a lifetime .213 and .155 record, but he had 154 saves.
Well, because he went from being a starting pitcher to a relief pitcher. So if you, and I guess I wouldn't count a save as much as I would count a win, because you're only pitching 1 or 2 innings most of the time.
But he is the only player in Major League Baseball history to have 200 wins and 150 saves. But more importantly, he was 15-4. In the postseason.
Okay.
Now you think about all the.
So kind of like an Andy Pettitte kind of guy or something, huh?
Now they did win a World Series in. He played in 5 World Series. They only won 1.
But they're like the Buffalo Bills.
Right.
They are,
but you know what? How much was he responsible for them not winning the World Series? If he's 15-4.
Not 15-4. No.
You know what I mean?
It was probably Maddux and Glavine that got lit up. I guess
He was. This is what he said. I'm honored. I'm humbled, and when the phone call came in for the first time, I was speechless. And that would be the thing that you'd want to hear, that's what that guy was.
Yeah.
And the last guy, the fourth guy, I believe, was the exact same guy.
That's right, okay. Craig Biggio, he spent his entire 20-year career with the Houston Astros, amassing 3,060 hits. Grew up on Long Island, played baseball at Kings Park High School. Also was a great football player. Actually, he won the Hanson Award. I guess that's the Newsday Award for the most outstanding football player, right? In Suffolk County in 1983. His passion was baseball, though, and after turning down a few football scholarships, he played collegiate ball at Seton Hall. Was a first-round draft choice of the Houston Astros in 1987. Originally called up as a catcher, he made the move to second base. 7-time All-Star, 4 Gold Gloves, 5 Silver Slugger Awards. He was the only player with more than 3,000 hits, not including Pete Rose, to not be in the Hall of Fame already. So, good for him. Okay, so he's got a quote here too, right? Let's put that up. I've never been excited or antsy or nervous in any baseball game I've ever played. I was so excited I was crying. I ain't gonna lie. I'm 49 years old. I was an emotional mess when it happened. He asked him if it was a prank phone call. That's pretty good.
Now that's the guy we have to target to get on this show.
He's
a Long Island guy. I'd love to be able to get him on the show, just to talk to him.
And speaking about, we got some things going on about a show that we're putting together, but the station has some pretty big stuff they're working on too that unfortunately we can't talk about.
Let me tell you about it.
Okay.
Oh, no, I can't tell you about it.
Should we bleep you out?
All right, so listen. Some of the things we're going to be doing. Really? Unbelievable.
I can't wait.
You know, that's so silly. But yeah, we are. The station is about to explode.
Not while we're in the studio, I hope.
Hopefully not. And we're going to be a part of it. Everyone at this station, you know, we've been working very hard at this station.
That's right.
Been wearing ties for almost a year.
I don't think it's been that long.
We've had studio guests and stuff.
Yeah.
We had a live studio audience a couple weeks ago. And we're about to break out. So if you're not watching, well, I guess if you're not watching this show,
Yeah.
you're not going to be watching any of the other shows because I tell you to watch all the other shows. You know?
Kind of reminds me of I was down visiting my father-in-law years ago, and he wanted to send a broadcast email to a bunch of people.
Right.
So he's asking me how to do it, so I told him he got to copy and paste, and he didn't want me pasting anything on a computer. He thought I was going to paste it. You know? So I said, we finally got past that, and I said, listen, so now it's ready to go. I said, why don't we send a test email out to people? He goes, oh, that sounds like a good idea. You know, so what do you want to say? He goes, if you don't get this, let me know. I said, are you?
Yeah,
So I look at my wife, I go, that's your father? I mean,
So if you don't watch this show, I'm telling you to watch all the other shows. And keep an eye on Enravio.com.
There'll be some big announcements in the
Big stuff
upcoming
coming
weeks.
through.
I'm
And I'm
excited about
sure
it.
we'll be breaking them here on this show.
Let's hope so.
I hope so. Let's take another break.
Okay.
All right. When we get back, we'll tell you some things that you may or may not have heard about in our Did You Hear About segment.
Sounds good.
Watching the Glory Days show with Bruce Disco only on the Enravio TV network. Coming right back.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit hansoncarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Enravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Enravio.com. Enravio.com wants you. Enravio provides the best in TV, film, post-production, and so much more. And we're growing. Right now, we're looking for a team of pros that can join us. So what are you waiting for? We need show hosts, production crew, marketing gurus, sales experts, audio engineers, lighting, visual effects, and camera crews. We want you. Go to Enravio.com/join the team.
Transmission of lice occurs from being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Like catching a cold or a flu.
You have guaranteed peace of mind in every bottle of Got Lice because all of our products are completely natural,
And organic.
but strong enough to cover all your lice removal needs while being safe and effective. Our professional technicians are specially trained with our exclusive proven technique to successfully comb out head lice. We come right to your home at your convenience.
Whenever you want us.
We bring everything needed to perform a successful and complete comb out while eliminating your head lice, and we leave you with our exclusive complimentary products to use for the next 10 days following our treatment.
For free.
Our technicians also check all family members who have been exposed to lice. Please visit us on our website today at gotlice.co or feel free to call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 646-257-0121.
What's up, guys? We're Scare No Fair, and we're here with Enravio. If they catch you at a show with one of these bracelets, you will win $100.
That's a lot of money.
So get a bracelet.
Do whatever it takes to get that. Hit them up online.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco here on the Enravio.com TV network. This is the show for 13-year-olds.
Uh-oh. Is that our demographic? I don't know. It's probably our target demographic, you know, but...
But it is time for our Did You Hear About segment.
All right, so where's the cue there, man?
The sweeper.
Okay. There we go.
There it is.
All right.
Okay. So the first story, really, I don't know if it answers the question as to whether size matters or not.
Okay.
Okay. But what does the successful completion of the world's first ever penis reduction surgery have to do with sports?
It's unprecedented. Oh, God.
Well, a teenager from Florida requested the surgery after his penis grew too large.
Okay.
It was restricting his ability to play competitive sports.
Okay.
There's no other way I could have got this story in there.
Okay.
All right, so how large, do you ask?
I wasn't going to. Okay. But I'm sure you're prepared to answer. Okay.
Okay, when flaccid,
Yeah.
there was a lot of medical
Flaccid.
terms on this
Flaccid.
show this week. Yeah. It measured 7 inches
Okay.
in length
Okay.
and had a circumference of about 10 inches.
Circumference.
About the size of a grapefruit.
Wow.
Okay. His surgeons described it as being the shape of an American football. I heard "ugh" from
Okay.
the
And I guess
the
it
booth
being
there.
flaccid, I guess it wasn't inflated all the way.
No, it was not. It
Okay.
was talk about deflate geek.
Yeah.
Urologist Raphael Carrion, the
Okay.
surgeon who treated the teenager, had this to say.
Okay.
There comes a time
I like
in
that picture
every
there.
urologist's career that a patient makes a request so rare and impossible to comprehend that all training breaks down and leaves the physician speechless. That question was, can you make my penis smaller?
I see. Of course, it reminds me of a Seinfeld episode. You know, what are you going to do to the guy? Can we see it? You know, can we be in the theater? You know,
Right.
Did you sell tickets to this thing? You know?
What was it? The junior mints.
Exactly right.
Okay.
That was just on last night, I think, as a matter of
But
fact.
you had a medical reference?
Yes.
The teenager suffered from priapism, a condition in which abnormally shaped blood cells
Okay.
blocked the vessels to the penis,
Okay.
causing it to swell. It caused the penis to be bloated and misshapen.
I could see it creating some problems with being able to run.
Well, that was the
You
thing.
know,
He
and
said
I
he
guess
was.
I guess that's why
He was unable
wanted
to
have
play.
this done.
Right, he couldn't play competitive sports, and he says it caused difficulty in wearing normal clothes because his large and heavy phallus. He was embarrassed by how visible it appeared under his regular clothing.
But he
couldn't
couldn't understand why girls were always following him around. I mean,
Well,
you know?
this is what I don't understand. He also claimed
Yeah.
that it was causing him problems having sex because it was just too big.
Okay.
Has he never seen pornography?
Well, how old is he?
He's 17.
Well, yeah, I guess he has. Okay.
Yeah, all right, but doesn't he understand that women give birth
Yeah.
to human beings through their, you know what?
Yeah. That's technical.
I thought he would be very popular.
Yeah, I would think so,
If he
too.
was really having sex at 17, so I don't think he's ever.
Okay.
But at any rate.
Now,
Do you want to know what the follow-up story to this is?
well, I want to know what the ICD-9 code is, or ICD-10 code, and the CPT codes for this procedure. You know,
Well, you know what?
you didn't come as prepared as me.
No,
my
I
friend.
did not.
Okay,
You went right to the book. There is a companion story, by the way, which I only found out about late last night.
Okay.
There is a woman who needed surgery because her you-know-what was too small.
Her vagina was too small.
It was too small.
Okay.
And they did surgery on it. And you know what they used?
I don't know. I mean, the jaws of life. I don't know. I don't know. You know. What did they use?
They wound up using pig intestines.
Pig intestine. Okay. All right.
I'm not even...
Smells like bacon. Bacon, bacon. I guess. I don't know. You know. Wow.
It brings the show to a screeching halt.
Okay. What's the next story here? Okay. I'm up. Okay.
At least this story's got nothing to do with body parts.
That's right. And it's a sports story as
a
well.
sports story.
Okay. This past summer, a Little League team from the south side of Chicago, what's that big, bad
Leroy Brown.
Okay. Was the first ever African-American team to be crowned the U.S. champions in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, after beating a team from Vegas 7-5. Although they eventually lost the World Championship game to South Korea, the Jackie Robinson West team was the toast of the town.
And that's them.
Okay, here we go. But on Wednesday, Little League International announced that after a thorough investigation, they were stripping the Jackie Robinson West of their title and awarding it to the team from Mountain Ridge in Las Vegas because the team had falsified a boundary map to claim their players. Okay. Essentially, they created a super team,
Right.
taking players from outside their district. And the team that started the inquiry with the complaint, it was a competing team from South Chicago. Okay. The Evergreen Park Association. So they knew what was going on. Right? They were suspicious of the JR team after being beat 43-2. Wow. In a district game that lasted only 4 innings.
So the team that got beat 43-2 decided to make a complaint.
Yeah.
Even if the JR West team had 4 guys, they would probably still win that game.
So how many guys did they determine how many guys were playing out of?
No, they didn't say. And you know the reason
out of
why
region?
I know a little bit about this is because, and of course Jimmy Baseball knows a lot about this. But in the world of Little League, every Little League is district.
Okay.
Streets, avenues, whatever. That's your.
They call that gerrymandering?
I don't know. But that is the way your players on your team can only come from that area.
Okay.
Now in Massapequa, we have 2 Little Leagues because it's just too big of an area. There is Little League, there is Massapequa International, which is basically north of the tracks, and Massapequa Coast, which is south of the tracks.
I see.
Now I know because I coached the 16 and over team, the district team for the Little League World Series, and we got our ass handed to us by Massapequa Coast League. But anyway, you have to put all this paperwork together of exactly where these players live and their entire.
I was so surprised that they got guys from out of district as opposed to they had guys that were playing that were too old, because that happens too. I mean, that happened with that guy Bobby.
That's
Almonte,
another thing.
whatever his name was.
Bob Almonte.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's why they have this, so that you can't create a super team. Although I don't see why you can't, but I guess that's the idea. It's
Well,
this
are
Little
these
League.
International teams, are they coming from one town, or are they
I
coming
don't know.
from the
That's
nation?
why they say that we always get beat by those, because those teams are super teams.
It's an all-star team.
Right. Okay.
And all I can say is, Chicago, the Windy City, they're famous for gangsters and liars. Our president's from there. You know what I mean? You can keep the health care you like, if you want it, So I'm really not all that shocked that something like that would happen from that place.
Right.
That's all I can say.
It's you know what? And again, it's the kids that are the victims, but it's because of the adults. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's absolutely correct.
Alrighty. In a story that was first reported on the Glory Day Show back in July, a disgruntled Cleveland Browns fan was arrested for urinating on the grave of the hated former owner, Browns owner, Art Modell.
Right. Now, that was a YouTube video or what? I mean,
Yeah, he actually had a YouTube video, which we posted on the Glory Days Facebook page. 52-year-old Paul Serbu posted a video on YouTube
Here we go.
of himself wearing a Baltimore Ravens jersey at the gravesite of Modell. Oh, gee, that's the wrong picture.
What was it?
Then he rips off his Baltimore Ravens jersey.
Yeah.
And he's got a Cleveland Brown jersey underneath, and he urinates on the grave as he shouts obscenities at Modell for moving the Browns to Baltimore. He could have faced a $500 fine and up to 2 years in prison.
Okay.
Well, on Wednesday, the charges were dismissed.
Okay.
Okay, because they learned that he had, if you've been following the show the entire time, an unidentified physical condition.
Oh, yeah?
Doesn't even have an
mysotitis?
ICD. So then they spoke to Modell's son, David, and they decided to drop the charges after Serbu agreed to appear on Modell's radio show to apologize
On the air. I
air.
see.
I must have. I thought I had a picture of it, but
Picture of it. What's it?
of that.
Okay, all right.
Well, how much time we got? We got enough time to do one more? We got 1 minute. All right, let's see if we could do a story about deaths in 1 minute.
Okay, in December of 1979, 11 kids were killed at the Who concert, Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. It was one of those general admission things, okay, where, you know, I think the Who were actually doing a
Sound check.
and
Right.
caused a stampede. So people, you know, they didn't have enough gates open and people died, okay?
Right.
So let's talk about soccer. So I guess the same thing happened in soccer here now, huh?
Yes, in Egypt.
Okay.
In Egypt, they a couple of years ago, they had 74 people died.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, and they decided after that they were not going to have any spectators at the games anymore. So the only people that have been able to attend professional soccer games in Egypt have been like family members and
Family members.
You know, yeah, that's it. So the stands have been
empty.
right. You know, I mean, in that thing where 74 people, they were throwing rocks, they were stabbing people,
Okay.
and they were killing each other with swords.
Wow.
You bring a sword to a
Soccer's
soccer
a wild
game?
sport, man.
You know, like all I kept thinking of was John Belushi with the samurai.
Yeah.
How do you get into a soccer game with a sword?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess they're not going through metal detectors. I guess. I don't know.
So anyway, so what happened was they decided to let people back in the stadium
With
on
the
a
ban.
limited basis,
Okay.
10,000 people.
Okay.
And of course, the hooligans, I guess, from the Zamalek team.
Yeah, the White Knights.
The White Knights of Zamalek.
Okay, well, sounds like something from Interstellar.
Right. So the guys that didn't have tickets started storming the gates, and 25 people died.
It's insane.
But you know what's more insane? They played the game. 25 people were killed, and they played the game. It was the game ended at a 1-1 tie, but they played the game.
Wow. The game must go on.
The game must go on.
You come to play, I guess.
You know, the Who didn't play the concert. The concert got canceled.
Well, that's America, not Egypt, Disco. That's all I can say.
All right, you made it this far. And if you haven't already thrown up your breakfast, hang out for one more break. We'll be back and we'll wrap things up. You're watching The Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco, only on the Radio TV network. Coming right back.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit hansoncarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. InRavio.com wants you. InRavio provides the best in TV, film, post-production, and so much more. And we're growing. Right now, we're looking for a team of pros that can join us. So what are you waiting for? We need show hosts, production crew, marketing gurus, sales experts, audio engineers, lighting, visual effects, and camera crews. We want you. Go to InRavio.com/join the team.
Hey, this is Chris Les Jake, and if InRavio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco here on the InRavio TV network. I'm almost afraid to ask this question.
What we learned today?
What did we learn today? What did we learn today that we didn't know before we walked in this door?
There are some wild and wacky medical procedures that are out there. I'll just leave it at that, okay? You know.
Although we did learn from our producer, Bonnie Schultz, today, that they are looking to freeze dry it and put it into pill form.
That's very comforting.
And what would you drink it down with? Scotch?
I don't know. Chase it with a banana.
Maybe you had to. Maybe, you know, like you do for the dogs. You could put it in the banana and give it to the dog. Well, you know, dogs do that now.
That's right.
All right, that is the most disgusting Glory Day show we've ever had, I think. And we have sunk to new low. And every week
we also learned that the radio station's about to make a big announcement.
Right.
We just can't tell you what it is.
We just can't tell you what it is. But when we can, we'll tell you.
It'll be exciting.
It'll be exciting. Yeah. All righty. Thanks to our producers, Ken Nilsson and Bonnie Schultz, for all their hard work and making us look so good.
The camera makes us look good, too. Although, looks like we gained a little weight.
Yeah. Well, the camera puts 50 pounds on it.
That's right. 100.
Thanks again, Chuck and Bonnie, for putting up with this nonsense week after week. And, of course, thanks to you, our loyal viewers. Don't forget, you can check out Glory Days On Demand page. And,
On Demand
you can
is
watch some of our
so current, man. You know?
Some of our cool shows, our old shows.
Yep.
And you can watch all the rest of the stuff that's on the InRavio.com TV network. So don't forget, 4 more days.
Just 4 days, wow.
4 days. Pitchers and catchers will be returning to, and spring is coming.
Yeah, we got a snowstorm coming in today.
Spring
is going to be here.
Isn't it great that we don't live in Boston?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually taking a trip up to Boston tomorrow.
Ooh.
I got to be up there for a Monday morning meeting.
They don't have
We'll see what happens.
holidays
I'm supposed to be taking the ferry, too. It's supposed to be 50-mile-an-hour winds, so
Oh, boy.
I might not make it.
All right. So you know what?
This might be my last show.
And we'll find out if they're...
And I went out on a real low with a fecal implant.
Fecal implants. All right. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. Get out there and shovel tomorrow. Be careful.
Okay.
And we'll see you, hopefully, next
I will
week.
be around next. Well, at least you'll see Disco next week. Okay.
Maybe.
All right. Have a great week. Bye-bye.